Inevitable. The Cardinals and Kyler Murray are officially parting ways. Cardinals informed Murray yesterday that they plan to release him next week when the new league year begins. Murray becomes a free agent for the first time in his career after being the Cardinals' #1 overall pick back in 2019. Kyler Murray went on social media following the news of the Cardinals releasing him and said this, quote, "To everyone that supported me and showed kindness to my family and I during my time in Arizona, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I wanted nothing more than to be the one that ended the 77-year drought for this organization. I am sorry I failed us. I wish this community and my brothers nothing but the best. I am no stranger to adversity. I am prepared for whatever's next. I trust in God and my work ethic. I truly believe my best ball is in front of me, and I look forward to proving it. Godspeed." So now the question becomes, do we believe Kyler Murray is still that franchise quarterback? Kimberly Martin, Louis Riddick are now with us here on First Take. Lou, I ask you, what do you think? He said he's got a strong work ethic in front of him, too.
Yeah, that is what he says. That's what he says. Oh, and by the way, Stephen A., that's a nice
Tony Montana
combination. I mean,
Tony
what do you think you are, Scarface? Is that what you think you are now? Oh, okay. All right, I got some more things for you later on.
You know what? Don't hate. Don't hate. Don't hate.
It's not hate.
Don't hate. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
not hate. It's just observation. But we'll talk about it. But no, you know what? Do I still think he's a franchise quarterback? First, I would ask this question. Do you believe he ever was a franchise quarterback in the true sense of the word? Whoa. Franchise quarterback meaning this. Has he taken a franchise, put it on his shoulders, leveled up the entire organization, offense in particular, organization overall, led them to playoff success, and had a sustained run at doing it? That, to me, is what a franchise quarterback is. Is he an uber-talented quarterback who has had some very, very exciting moments in the NFL? He absolutely is. He absolutely is that. But now there are questions. Number one, leadership ability to be, as Mike Tannenbaum likes to say, a force multiplier. Is he that kind of guy? And now there's going to be questions about his durability considering the injuries that he's had over the past 3 seasons. So for me, look, I think it's going to be buyer beware with Kyler. I think you have to really put him into a very specific type of situation. When all this conversation is being talked about as far as Minnesota better be careful. Well, I shouldn't say they better be careful. But if you bring him in there, and we were just talking about this over the past couple of hours, I think you are signaling the end of J.J. McCarthy's time in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
Because he is not a bridge guy. This is not why you're bringing Kyler in. He's only 28 years old. You're bringing him in for him maybe to be a 5-7 decades plus type of quarterback. And if he is someone who winds up taking them to the playoffs and he has a Sam Darnold type of season, you think they're going to make the same mistake and let him walk out the door the next year? Absolutely not. So I think this is, one, is he a franchise quarterback? I don't necessarily believe that he has been. I think he is just supremely talented. And two, win for and understand what you're bringing in.
Okay, Shay, I'm not going to disagree wholeheartedly with everything that Louis is saying. However, Louis and I just got done spending 2 hours together on television. And Louis told us that, you know who should sign Kyler Murray? The Jets. He's a guy that could, totally transform that team. And I'm confused.
I didn't say transform.
Because you were like, this is a guy, he could be there. He's not going somewhere to be there for 1 year. He's a guy that's looking to be there for multiple years. He's a guy who's uber talented. He's a guy who can get you to the playoffs. So to me, when I'm thinking of what is a franchise guy, what is the point of having a franchise guy? To get you to the playoffs and beyond. I'm not denying that there are some questions about Kyler Murray, the leadership, the maturity level. There are definitely questions about him. However, I'm just surprised that you are definitively saying, I'm not sure if he's a franchise guy when he's one of the top free agents available right now.
Being one of the top free agents available is really just a matter of supply.
Well,
that's what it is. Look, okay, when I say franchise guy, this is what I'm saying, though. I'm saying he is not going to be the guy who can elevate an entire organization and put it on his shoulders and be the example setter, be the tip of the spear that is going to be the total difference maker like true franchise quarterbacks are. Like the Joe Burrows, the Patrick Mahomes, the Josh Allens. Those are franchise quarterbacks. He is talented as hell. Mm-hmm. There's no question about that. There's a reason why Arizona is moving on from him. And I'm not saying it was all his fault down in Arizona. I'm not saying that. Mm-hmm. But this is not, to me, he is not the guy who's in the same category as true franchise quarterbacks are.
Okay, Stephen A.
Well, Mr. Chippendale's messed up.
Don't let him get on you.
It's 10 o'clock in the morning. it's 10 o'clock in the morning, and you got me agreeing with Kimberly Martin this early. I usually like to wait about an hour before I agree with her, but I got to agree with her a little bit. I got to agree with her a little bit earlier this morning. I think that you're wrong, Louis Riddick. Well, listen, I'm gonna say this. When you talk about him being a franchise caliber quarterback, he ain't Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, or something like that. But the brother's a two-time Pro Bowler. He's a former Rookie of the Year. He can play. When you notice that he only led to Arizona Cardinals to one playoff appearance, right? And they haven't had really a playoff appearance or a winning season since 2021, if I remember correctly. He hasn't had a winning season as a starter since 2021. I'm like, how do you mention all of that and not bring up who he's playing for? He's playing for an organization that's in flux. They ain't the most impressive organization in the world. Matter of fact, he comes into the league and you hire a dude in Cliff Kingsbury that proved nothing on the NFL level. There were plenty of people who were more worthy of that job. And I'm not trying to throw shade on Kingsbury. I'm simply saying he came out of college. He was no Nick Saban. He wasn't even a Dabo Swinney at that particular moment in time. No Kirby Smart, no anything like that, all right? And you go and you offer him this job because supposedly he's convinced you that he's some quarterback whisperer. So they put Kyler Murray's hands in the career in the hands of a novice at the head coach position with quarterback nurturing responsibilities. I don't understand how you don't mention that. I'd be remiss in not mentioning Kyler Murray's daddy. I love that man, Kevin Murray. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen him in years, but got a lot of love for him and wish him nothing but the best. So anytime I think about Kyler, I think about him. But I got to look at Kyler Murray. And then here's the thing, Louis, here's where I really, really think you missed it. Because his dollars are guaranteed. If you look at him right now, the team that signs him can do so for the NFL minimum, roughly $1.3 million. The other $36.8 million has to be picked up by the Arizona Cardinals. So it's entirely plausible that it can be a one-season stop. He could go somewhere, do his thing, and then get another long-term deal from somebody else. That is possible. It is plausible. And if you're the Minnesota Vikings, listen, J.J. McCarthy's career ain't going to be over because of Kyler Murray. J.J. McCarthy's career in Minnesota is going to be over because of J.J. McCarthy, because he didn't look too damn good. You got Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and T.J. Hockenson, and you can't look good with them brothers to throw the football to? Maybe it's about you. And that's really what this comes down to. So I look at Kyler Murray, and I like the situation. I like his options, and I think it could work for him.
One, I never said that Arizona should be absolved of some blame as far as why they weren't able to have more success when he was down there.
I didn't say you said they should be absolved. I said you didn't mention them.
Oh, I did mention them. I said, look, the situation wasn't ideal down there. It wasn't as though he had all kinds of organizational help and all kinds of organizational support. That's a given. We all know that. We also know that there were plenty of questions about Kyler Murray when he was down there in terms of his leadership style, the consistency of his leadership, the consistency of being a guy who conducted himself both in and outside of the building in terms of his preparation to play the quarterback position, the way in which many of the other top franchise quarterbacks, guys who are force multipliers, guys who are looked at as bona fide, true upper echelon franchise quarterbacks in the entire scope of what it means to be that. This is not about his talent. This is not about him being a two-time Pro Bowler. This is not about him having highlight reel moments.
And what is it about?
It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that when you're talking about franchise quarterback. That's the question. Do I believe he can be I can believe he can be a good starter. I do believe that. I believe he can go to Minnesota and start and maybe help them get to the playoffs, a la Sam Darnold. Did we think okay, let me ask you this. Before this year, did you classify Sam Darnold as a franchise quarterback?
Hold on. Not at all, but here's the thing. You can now.
Now. Exactly my point.
Right.
You can't classify Kyler Murray as a franchise quarterback yet. He goes to Minnesota and has the kind of career arc that Sam Darnold has had. You can classify him as that. Not now.
Any of these teams, because we already know he's not Josh Allen. He's not Lamar. He's not Joe Burrow. He's not Patrick Mahomes. Okay, fine. Most guys aren't. So when you talk about a franchise guy, you just want somebody who can win you games,
get
that's
you
a
good
to
starter.
The playoffs. But
that's not a franchise guy.
But again, why do you think the Minnesota Vikings would be interested in him? Why do you think he could help them?
Because they think he would be a better starting option right now than J.J. McCarthy.
And if he gets them to the playoffs and beyond, we might be looking at him similarly to how we look at some other quarterbacks, where you may not. There are a lot of question marks, but he's shown it on the field, right? That's all.
Yeah.
The problem with Kyler Murray, and I hate to bring this up, but it's been reported, we've talked about it a lot, is the fact that he has been criticized for his work ethic or his studying the playbook or his leadership style.
By his own teammates. Yes.
By his own teammates.
Right.
And a few years ago, don't you remember he wiped his Instagram? There was no pictures of the Cardinals. These are not things we typically see from the leader of your organization.
Franchise quarterback.
Right. Does he have a chance to go somewhere and totally change that narrative? Of course. But we have to wait and see.
Lewis and Shay, that's fair. That's fair. But it also comes into account. Listen, everybody deals with frustration differently. The true professionals find a way to maneuver and work their way through it, regardless of how arduous it may be. We understand that. But the other side to it is that sometimes ineptitude breaks people when it's alarmingly perpetual and consistent. And one could easily make that argument when it comes to the Arizona Cardinals. I sincerely doubt that is something we'll be saying if he decides to go to the Minnesota Vikings. He's a low risk. You understand? He's not costing you much. And he has, he's a dual threat. And considering that, I think you take that into consideration. I think the one thing that we peel from this conversation about Kyler Murray, particularly considering what Shay just brought up about some of his antics because clearly of his frustration being a part of that organization, you don't need to go to the Jets because it ain't going to be better. You definitely don't need to do that. If you're going to go someplace with a reputable organization with some weapons. You do not need to subject yourself to the New York Jets when you are trying to resurrect your career. That is the equivalent of digging your own damn grave and writing your own damn epitaph. Do not do that. Can't go to the Jets.